In the soft glow of the city lights, the girl rests quietly against the man's bare chest. His arm wraps around her protectively, his expression calm and composed, while she seems fragile and lost in the warmth of his embrace. The world outside the car fades away, leaving only the sound of his steady heartbeat and the faint hum of the night. Her cheeks are flushed, her eyes closed, as though she's trying to hold on to a fleeting sense of safety, something she hasn't felt in a long time. Her eyes flutter open slightly, and she gazes at him, her mind still tangled in confusion. If not because I hear his heartbeat, I almost thought that what happened just now had nothing to do with him, she thinks to herself. But thought stings, a mixture of disbelief and emotional turmoil. The closeness between them feels unreal, as if she's caught between reality and a dream that she cannot escape. The silence in the car grows heavier. The man, now sitting upright, begins to light a cigarette, his face expressionless yet distant. The glow of the lighter briefly illuminates his sharp features. His shirt hangs open, revealing a well-defined chest, but there's no warmth in his demeanor. The girl, sitting beside him, clasps her hands tightly in her lap, her head slightly bowed. The moment between them that once felt intimate now feels cold and awkward, like two strangers bound by an unspoken memory. Finally, she gathers the courage to speak. "Sir, please don't smoke." Her voice trembles as she looks up, her eyes pleading. The flicker of the lighter flame reflects in her violet eyes, a small light in the dimness between them. Though her tone is polite, there's a deep vulnerability beneath her words. She's not just asking him to stop smoking, she's desperately trying to preserve the fragile silence that still holds them together. The man pauses, his lighter still burning midair, as she continues softly. "I do not want my relatives to know this. If I go home, they will smell tobacco." Her words catch him off guard. He turns toward her, a faint, escaping his lips, part confusion, part curiosity. She looks sincere, anxious even, as if the smell of smoke could expose secrets she's not ready to explain. For a brief moment, their eyes meet again, and something unspoken lingers in the air, delicate and uncertain. The flickering flame from the lighter casts a soft glow between them, dancing over the man's bare chest and her uneasy face. His movements are slow, deliberate, the metallic click of the lighter echoing faintly in the silence of the car. She sits beside him, her fingers fidgeting nervously against her shirt, as though trying to hold herself together. The contrast between them is striking. His calm, almost cold composure, and her fragile, trembling restraint. The air feels heavy with something unspoken, something that neither of them dares to confront. Her eyes soften as a thought crosses her mind. "Don't know if Dad is worried or not, but I'm afraid someone will see me when I go out like this." The unease in her chest grows stronger. The clothes she's wearing, his shirt, are a constant reminder of the events that brought her here. The night outside is quiet, yet her heart won't stop racing. She presses her fingers together, lost in a mix of shame, fear, and a longing for normalcy that feels too far away to reach. A close-up view. His hand closes around the lighter. The flame is gone now, replaced by silence and stillness. The faint click as he shuts it is sharp, final, echoing like a quiet decision. It's a simple gesture, but it carries weight. Perhaps a sign of reluctant understanding or a buried frustration. Either way, the silence that follows says more than words ever could. She finally turns toward him, her voice soft but urgent. "Can I go home?" Her tone is cautious, almost pleading, as her violet eyes search his face for a trace of kindness. He looks at her, his jaw tightening, the shadows of the night outlining his sharp features. There's a pause, long enough to feel her heart sink. The question lingers in the air between them, fragile and uncertain, like a confession neither of them expected to hear. His answer comes at last, low, steady, and firm. Stay here for a while. The words are simple, yet they carry a quiet command that leaves no room for argument. She lowers her gaze, unsure whether to feel relieved or trapped. The distance between them seems to shrink, not in space, but in the tension that fills the car. Outside, the city lights blur through the window, but inside, time stands still, suspended between longing, fear, and something deeper neither dares to name. A pair of delicate feet in simple, strappy sandals step carefully onto the floor. Around them lie crumpled pieces of paper, silent witnesses to the tension lingering in the air. The discarded notes, perhaps symbols of confusion or regret, rest at her feet as if mirroring her own scattered thoughts. Every step she takes feels hesitant, burdened by the weight of unspoken emotions. Her mind drifts into a flustered whirl of thoughts, and for a brief moment, she appears in a chibi form, her large violet eyes wide with realization, cheeks burning with embarrassment. She presses her hands to her face, utterly mortified. Her heart beats wildly, as if it's trying to escape her chest. Whatever she's just discovered or remembered seems to have completely thrown her off balance. Could it be? The thought echoes inside her head, leaving her frozen in disbelief. The realization strikes her like a sudden spark, piecing together fragments of the situation she hadn't fully grasped before. Her world feels as though it's tilting slightly, the pieces of the puzzle finally starting to fall into place. Yet she's not sure she's ready for what they reveal. She leans forward nervously, reaching down to pick something up from the floor. The car is quiet, except for the faint sound of her movement. The man beside her sits still, composed and unreadable, his half-open shirt revealing a sculpted chest that only adds to her unease. Her cheeks are flushed as she bends down, trying to keep her trembling hands steady. He watches her silently, his expression unreadable, his eyes gleaming with something she can't quite decipher. A faint smirk touches his lips as he finally speaks, his voice low and teasing. "Just small pieces," he says, almost as if he's amused by her flustered behavior. The golden lights outside flicker across his face, accentuating the calm confidence in his expression. She feels the heat rise to her cheeks again, his words simple, but his tone carrying a weight that makes her heart skip. The air between them tightens once more, charged with an unspoken tension neither of them dares to break. The man's voice is calm and distant, almost dismissive, as he buttons his shirt lazily. "There will be someone to clean it," he says, his tone cool and indifferent. The words hang in the air, carrying an unspoken authority that makes her hesitate. It's as if he's reminding her of the invisible line between their worlds. His one of privilege and command, and hers where she's left struggling to find her place in his silence. Her cheeks flush a deep shade of pink, a mix of frustration and embarrassment spreading across her face. She glances down, biting her lip as she mutters under her breath, "Clean it quickly." Her heart races. She doesn't want to seem useless, yet his composure makes her feel small, almost childish. She's flustered not just by his words, but by how effortlessly he seems to unsettle her. Quietly, she lowers her gaze, her sandal pressing lightly against the crumpled papers scattered on the floor. With a small, almost reluctant motion, she pushes them aside. The soft rustle of paper is the only sound between them. It's a small act, insignificant even, but to her, it feels like a quiet rebellion. She doesn't want to leave things messy, yet she also doesn't want to yield completely to his detached demeanor. The air between them shifts as she finally gathers the courage to speak. Her voice is soft, hesitant, but sincere. "Yesterday, Thank you for jumping into the sea to save me. Her words come slowly, each one carrying gratitude she can't fully express. He remains silent, his eyes half closed, his expression unreadable under the dim glow of the car's interior lights. To her, his silence feels both comforting and unreachable, a wall she can't yet see beyond. They sit side by side, the distance between them small but filled with unspoken emotions. His arms are crossed, his chest partially exposed beneath his unbuttoned shirt, the image of a man composed yet mysterious. She sits upright, her hands nervously resting on her lap. The silence stretches, not uncomfortable, but heavy with something neither of them is ready to name. Outside, the city lights blur into streaks of gold, a quiet reminder that the world moves on even as they remain caught in this fragile moment between gratitude and confusion. As the warm lights from outside flicker through the car window, the girl's wide violet eyes glimmer with a mix of surprise and disbelief. Her thoughts race, panic rising in her chest. Don't tell me, he's planning to sleep here? The very idea makes her pulse quicken. The air inside suddenly feels heavier, charged with unspoken tension. Trying to compose herself, she straightens her collar and forces her tone to remain calm. But curiosity burns inside her as she finally gathers the courage to ask, "So, what did you come here for after all?" Her voice is soft, hesitant, yet filled with the need to understand this mysterious man beside her. The man's deep voice breaks the silence, calm, confident, and steady. "Invest," he replies simply, his gaze steady and unbothered. Then he elaborates. "Tell your dad to buy some old houses. The price of land here next year will be very high in value." His words carry weight, as though every sentence holds the power to change the future. He adjusts his collar with effortless grace, a faint, knowing smile playing at the corner of his lips. The golden city lights cast soft reflections across his sharp features, giving him an aura of authority, someone who is always several steps ahead, someone who knows more than he reveals. The girl turns her head slightly, eyes narrowing in thought, as his words echo in her mind. What does he mean? She wonders, her heart skipping a beat. Could it be he wants to invest and develop the Hulon Street? The realization dawns slowly, and with it, a strange blend of admiration and unease. The gentle hum of the car is interrupted by the sudden vibration of her phone. Soft musical notes appear to dance in the air, glowing faintly in different colors. The ringtone echoes through the quiet interior, and the name flashing on the screen makes her heart tighten slightly. It's her father calling. She hesitates, glancing at the man beside her before reaching for the phone. Holding the phone close, she answers with a composed but gentle tone. "Dad, I'm at my friend's house," she says, forcing a small smile though guilt lingers in her voice. "I'll be home later, don't worry." Her fingers clutch the phone tightly, her thumb brushing against the delicate rose-shaped charm hanging from it. A small reminder of innocence amid a situation she can't quite explain. When the call ends, she lowers the phone slowly, turning to the man next to her. "When will you return home?" she asks, cautiously, her voice barely above a whisper. "Can you take me to the head of the road?" Her words hang between them, careful and polite, as though she's testing how close she can step to his world without overstepping. The man, sitting comfortably with his usual calm expression, turns his head slightly toward her. The golden light of the city outside reflects in his cool eyes, and a faint, amused smile curves at his lips. "Afraid of being seen by others?" he asks in a low, teasing tone. His question hits her like a spark. She freezes, clutching her phone tighter. His gaze is steady, unreadable, but his voice carries that faint, mocking warmth that always makes her heartbeat falter. She doesn't answer. Instead, she lowers her eyes, trying to steady the storm of emotions inside her. He leans slightly closer, his hand lifting to gently touch her chin, tilting her face upward. The movement is slow, deliberate, his fingertips warm against her skin. "Sir, I gotta go home," she murmurs quickly, her cheeks turning red, her voice trembling with nervousness. But he only smiles, his eyes softening as he looks at her, a quiet smile that seems to say he already knows what she's thinking. The space between them feels impossibly small, charged with something she can't quite bring herself to name. Her heart races as she feels his touch again, warm, firm, and far too close. She quickly looks away, her mind a whirl of panic and confusion. "I rejected him again," she tells herself, her inner voice trembling. "Calm down. Otherwise, that might just provoke him more." Her breath catches in her throat, the tension between them thick enough to make her skin tingle. She doesn't dare move, afraid that even the slightest reaction might make things worse. Meanwhile, he leans back slightly, a faint smirk tugging at the corner of his lips. The way she flushes, the nervous way she tries to compose herself, it's all too amusing to him. This is the expression of this silly girl whenever she's teased, he thinks, his eyes gleaming with mischief. It's so fun. He pulls out his phone, still wearing that devilish smile, his voice casual, as if nothing happened. Bringing the phone to his ear, he speaks in a calm tone. "Yi Tong, come back to drive." His demeanor is back to his usual composed self, cool and authoritative, as though the switch between his teasing and his indifference left her even more flustered, unsure of how to react to someone who seems to enjoy throwing her emotions into chaos. A few moments later, the car starts moving again. The city lights blur outside the window as silence fills the air. His deep voice breaks through it smoothly. "Where do you want to get off?" he asks without looking at her, his eyes fixed ahead on the road. The question sounds simple, but to her it carries an undertone that makes her chest tighten. She hesitates for a second, trying to steady her voice before replying. She raises her hand slightly, pointing toward the street ahead. "Come over there," she says softly, her tone polite but cautious. "Then turn left." Her fingers tremble just a bit, betraying the nerves she tries to hide. The man beside her glances in the direction she points, the faintest trace of a smile still on his lips, one that seems to say he knows exactly how flustered she really is.